Happy New Year. It's January. It's 2019. Can you believe that it is January of 2019? Okay, so what I want to do is to start this year off right, I want to make sure that we look at something really cool. So somebody showed me something over Christmas and I just had to share it with you. So are you ready? Because I'm about to blow your minds. If you haven't seen this in school yet, tell your teachers that they are so lame. Okay, this is what we have. We have some water, a just regular bowl and spoon, nothing magical about the spoon, and some cornstarch, okay? Good old cornstarch. Now, what we're gonna do is put some cornstarch in the bowl, just like this, and then we're gonna put some water in the cornstarch, and then we're just gonna mix it, okay? So we're just gonna mix it, because you know water is a liquid, right? And cornstarch is a powder, okay? So we have those two elements for us. Now I wanna show you something that absolutely blew my mind. What happens is they start to form together. So we have our water and our powder, and it becomes a liquid, right? You see this? It's a liquid. But when you hit it, it's a solid. So you have it in the spoon, it's a solid, but you turn it over and it's a liquid. It is seriously magic, y'all. Solid, liquid. That was really awesome, right? The liquid and the powder turned into a solid. So what does that really mean? That means I'm talking about Jesus. All right, so Jesus is not cornstarch, y'all, but I wanted to show you that something can be two things, but also one thing. It could be a liquid and a powder, but it's just cornstarch at the end of the day. So I want to tell you this story. This is a really good story. It's found in the book of John. It's John chapter 8, 56 through 59, okay? And it says, "Your father Abraham rejoiced as he looked forward to my coming. He saw it and was glad. The people said, 'You aren't even 50 years old. How can you say you've seen Abraham?' Jesus answered, 'I tell you the truth. Before Abraham was even born, I am.' At that point, they picked up stones to throw at him, but Jesus was hidden from them and left the temple." So let me back up and give you a little bit of the backstory. Jesus is walking around in human flesh, in skin. You can touch him, you can talk to him, you can see him. He's walking around. He's telling everyone who he is, but people don't believe him. People try to throw stones at him, they try to kill him. No one believes that he's basically telling them that he is the one. So he comes up to Abraham's children. Abraham was a man who had died many years ago. And when I say many, I mean hundreds of years ago. And these are his children. And he tells his children, Jesus tells Abraham's children that I am Abraham's father. Well, so let's think about that. How can someone be your father's father, hence your grandpa, if your grandpa has been dead for hundreds of years and Jesus is clearly still walking around? And what it says in scripture, it says, but Jesus, you don't even look 50 years old. And so what they were meaning by that is that Jesus still looked young. So how can you be not only my father, as they were saying, as Abraham's children were saying, not only can you be my father, but you're my father's father? So they didn't believe that, of course. And Jesus simply stated, I am. That's it. That's all he said was, I am. And when he said that, he meant, I am the great one. I am the only one. I am the one that is going to be returning. He's basically saying who he was to them in just two words, I am. And so when they told him that you don't even look 50 years old, they were angry. They thought that Jesus was lying to them. Now, me and you know that Jesus wasn't lying, but they thought he was. And so they began to pick up stones and they began to throw them at him. But from the time that they bent down and looked back up with their stone, Jesus was gone. almost like vanished, kind of. He just was gone. So not only did Jesus tell them that he is I am, they went to hurt him and he was gone. So that was hard for them to understand because he's so much younger and their father had already died 100 years ago. But right there, that should tell you that not only was Jesus man, but that right there tells you that Jesus is fully God as well. Fully man and fully God, walking around the town, but also is the one that's going to be coming back for us that we're still waiting on, because he will. They just didn't know that yet, and they didn't understand that. All right, so we just talked about the story of Abraham, and that's a really good one. So this is what I want you to do this week. This week, I want you to do like a pros and cons list. You know how if you and your friends are trying to decide what they should do, what should we go to a movie? Should we go to the mall? Should we go play basketball? What should we do? You make a pros and cons list. You say, well, it might be fun to do this, but it's not really fun to do this. That's what I want you to do this week. But you're the thing. You're the main pro and con that they're doing it about. So you write your name up top, and I want you to write a pros and cons list. It's going to be kind of like this. So I would write my name on top, and then let's say my pro is I'm super organized. I pride myself in being organized. But that can be a con too, because when other people aren't organized, sometimes it makes me a little and I don't want people to mess up my area. So sometimes it can make me a little snippy. Also, I'm super clean. I love to have my house picked up. I love for everything to have a space. But the con to that is it's hard for me to invite my friends over, because if anybody touches any of my stuff and they move it, sometimes I just get in this weird place where I can't be okay until I move it back. It's hard. But what I want you to do is write a pro and con list of attributes of you, of how you are. Are you happy? Are you judgmental? Are you super sweet? Are you silly? And then something that is on your con side, something that's a hardcore con. Like for me, if the messy part, if somebody touches my stuff and moves it and makes it messy, it makes me really frustrated. This week, I'm going to work on trying to make that more like Jesus. How would Jesus be? If it's Jesus's house and we're coming over, do you think he would really care if we make a mess? No, because he wants us to be in his presence and he wants to disciple to us and love with us. So no. So what I want you to do is take that one con, and I want you to figure out, how would Jesus relate to this? And I want you to try to work on it all week long to see how can you change to be more like Jesus. Because at the end of the day, Jesus is fully man, but he's fully God. See you later.